So hey everybody, as Karen mentioned, my name is Stephen Feuerstein. I'm the Oracle Developer Advocate for PL SQL, and I lead a team of developer advocates, so-called evangelists, and our job is to help you succeed with Oracle Database in your application development efforts. And there are lots of ways we do that. We write blogs, we do videos, we do this, we do that. You should certainly follow me on Twitter, check out my video feed and so forth. But what we also do are build websites that give you an enormous range of free assets that allow you to do free training, free enrichment of your knowledge about the Oracle database. And I wanted to make sure that you know all about them and took some time to walk through the sites and explain what they do and how they work. So this is different from the usual, I imagine, ODTUG webinar of here's some new features in PL SQL or here's some great technology. Let's just talk about what we give you for free that you can use to get better at what you do, improve your craft as an Oracle database developer. So free Q&A, training, workouts, classes, scripts. What I want to do is talk about 3 websites today. Now, I'd like to think that every one of you have already heard about all of these and you're using all of them. That'd be great. If so, please pass the word on to your friends and coworkers. Well, we've also found that when we go to conferences that not everybody yet knows about all this great stuff. So what am I going to talk about? Let's turn on my pen. First of all, and most important, Oracle AskTOM. It's been around forever and it's getting better and better, and we've added some amazing new programs like AskTOM Office Hours. The Oracle DevGym is a gym where you can go and work out your Oracle muscles with quizzes, workouts, and classes that essentially take you from a rather passive mode of learning, which is reading a book. Please do read books, read my books, watch videos, but complement that kind of passive learning with active learning, taking quizzes, reinforcing your knowledge. And last but not least, Oracle LiveSQL, a 24/7 access to the latest version of Oracle Database where you can play around with SQL and PL SQL. You can run your own scripts, build your own scripts. You can take advantage of a code library, take tutorials, so on and so forth. So let's dive into each of these websites and take a closer look. So first of all, the latest, greatest, AskTOM. So I'm sure all of you have heard of AskTOM. AskTOM has been around for 15 plus years. It's called AskTOM because it was run by Tom Kite of Oracle Database fame, certainly the best known Oracle Database expert in the world. He retired back in 2016 and is having a great time not doing AskTOM Q&A anymore. But at that point, Andy Mendelsohn, the head of the Oracle Database organization, basically tasked us with keeping the site going. And that's a pretty big challenge, don't you think? Tom Kite leaves and we need to fill in for AskTOM, but we did it. And we did it with initially 2 members of my team, Chris Saxon and Connor McDonald, who are both really strong Oracle database experts. And now it's complemented with others as well. I'll go to the website and you can see this in a moment. So it was actually kind of quiet for a number of years. Tom had been busy doing other things and wasn't spending as much time on the AskTOM site. We've now revved it up and we're taking questions much more actively than had been going on for several years. And we've also been enhancing the website pretty dramatically. And also, in case you were wondering, why are we still calling it AskTOM? Well, we don't want to lose the branding and we don't want to lose that connection to Tom and everything that he did for this site. But now TOM stands for the Oracle Masters. Ask the Oracle Masters. And so Tom is now uppercase. I'm sure you all notice this, very subtle nuances. So the first and most important aspect of the AskTOM site, of course, is the Q&A repository. And it's pretty interesting to see that we stay pretty close to the level of database-related activity on Stack Overflow on AskTOM. So people still go to both of those places in large numbers to get answers to their questions. And we consider that no small achievement on our part, given the amazing work that Stack Overflow has done in terms of providing the go-to place for Q&A for developers. We're also now constantly enhancing the website to make your experience, both answering and reading questions, better. So let's take a look. So if you go to AskTOM, this is the new homepage. The homepage used to look like, here's the list of the recent questions we answered. But now AskTOM does more. So the homepage does more. First of all, you can immediately search your questions in our big fat search box. But also you can scroll down and you can see that we've got this new program called Office Hours, and I'll come back to that in just a moment. Links to resources, sites that we think are important for you to know about, books and presentations. So right on the front page, access to a lot of really great stuff. But of course, you can simply say, I want to search for questions on for all. Great bulk processing feature of PL SQL. So here you are back on the standard original homepage of AskTOM, which is the questions page. And you can continue doing more searching. You can drill down into your questions just like you did before. And then we still see a lot of answers from Tom, of course, and you'll see answers from our others as well. So now we're keeping track of how many times it's been viewed to give you some sense of the popularity of the questions. But again, the main experience is pretty similar. You can read through what is often a very long thread populated over the years. Or you can say, you know what, I've got a comment. You can write a review. We also now allow you to rate the question thread, and you can give us feedback on how we're doing it, and also add your own commentary. So all of this is still available and enhanced. So the question experience is largely the same. Now, in terms of asking a question, let's go through that for a moment. We get a lot of questions coming in. We don't have an endless amount of time to answer them. And in fact, before I show you the ask question flow, let's just go to About for a moment. So our new answers team has been expanded. So Chris and Connor took over from Tom originally. And then Maria Colgan, who's well known from her work on the SQL Optimizer and database in memory and is now a general Oracle database evangelist, is also a member of the team answering questions. We also have lots of other PMs contributing their expertise. And hopefully over time, you'll see this list right here in the answers team grow pretty dramatically. So pretty much any question you've got about Oracle database, do feel free to come to AskTOM and ask it. Now, in terms of the asking process, we really want to encourage you to write good questions and not use the AskTOM website as a way to do your homework, get free consulting, although we're happy to do a fair amount of that. So you'll see actually a fairly lengthy description of what we're looking for. We offer guidelines for writing a great question. We ask you to sign off that, yes, you've read this. You're not just going to say, help, I've got a problem. I'm getting error X on this code and not even show us the code. Let's continue. So now you can submit your question. And notice right at the top, we say your question gets top priority if you've provided a test case from LiveSQL. Now I'm going to show you LiveSQL in just a moment, but it essentially will give you a way to take your code that you're running locally, build a test case that you can run on LiveSQL against an Oracle database to verify the problem that you're having. And then you give us the link to that LiveSQL test case, and that will help us so much in giving you a great answer to your question, right? So that's key. And after that, it's pretty much the same. You can pick your different categories and product versions and so on, and then submit your question. So hopefully by taking full advantage of the resources we've given you, and LiveSQL is one that I'll again be coming back to in a moment, you can make sure that you provide a question that we can answer readily without a lot of back and forth, and that everybody else can benefit more easily from. So in addition to questions, we've got resources. So lots of our different favorite sites, books that we recommend you read, lots of Toms. They even put in a couple of mine. They're so nice. Well, they do work for me, so they had to. And at least Connor is keeping up with putting all of his presentations from recent conferences on the site as well. So you can always come here to get a recent download from Connor, and Chris will be adding more of those soon as well. So that's pretty much what Tom did for a number of years. So AskTOM is still there, going strong. Check it out. Now, the other really great feature of AskTOM is office hours. So there are lots of ways to get answers to questions online these days: Stack Overflow, AskTOM, the Oracle Developer Community Forums, et cetera, et cetera. But there's something different between asking a question on a forum and hopefully getting an answer after a while and maybe going back and forth in a rather awkward way and getting online with somebody directly. So we started up the AskTOM Office Hours program as a way to create a really big pipeline of communication between our users, yourselves, and our database experts, product managers, evangelists, developers, developer managers, and make it possible for you on a regular basis, currently on a monthly basis, to meet with these folks and hear what they have to say about their products and answer your questions. So these are monthly, live, free Q&A, hot tips, training sessions, depending on what those PMs want to do. Well, let's take a look. So now I click on Office Hours. And what you see here is a pretty lengthy list, and always growing, of different topics, different topic areas in Oracle database, and different experts, some of whom you've probably never heard of because they live inside Building 400 at Oracle headquarters, doing their job, occasionally blogging or tweeting, but mostly working on building great product for you. And so we're providing office hours as a way to open up that world to them, to be in touch with you more, and for you to see them and learn from them. So for example, Oracle sharding is a great new feature that we've added to Oracle database in 12c that allows you to do sharding of your database for scaling up your database to true web scale. So you can click on Oracle sharding, find out about the next session coming up, the times. You can even find out different start times around the world if UTC doesn't mean much to you. You can subscribe if you want to, and I encourage you to do that because then you'll get email reminders. But you can also just say, I'm going to come over to the site, and when it's time to start, you'll see a join session button, and you can join right in. So we make it really easy to get involved and learn. You can ask questions right from this page. It's not a replacement for AskTOM questions. I encourage you to still use AskTOM, the question interface, as the main way to ask substantive, deep questions about a problem you're having, lots of code, etc. The AskTOM office hour sessions are probably more suited to improving your general understanding and craft of a particular technology. And they often start with a short presentation and then are followed on by the Q&A. For example, let's take a look at my office hours. So if I look for PL SQL, and we go to all sessions, what you'll see here are a list of all of the sessions I have available so far. So we started this in February. Every month I've done a new session, and we record the session. Then anytime later, you can say, I'd like to see what Stephen had to say about error management. Come on back, and then you can watch the video directly on the page. You can give us feedback. You can still ask more questions right there. So these office hour sites, these pages will become kind of little portal or landing pages for these different technology areas as well over time. So I do encourage you to check it out. Come here, sign in. I'll unsubscribe for my own session. Why not? So you'll just see the blue button to subscribe, and then you'll get an email confirming the information, and then you get a reminder just before the class starts and a weekly digest and some stuff like that. Okay. So again, lots of different office hours to choose from. I encourage you to come visit the site, just kind of scroll through, subscribe to all the different sessions you think would be of interest to you, and you'll find your knowledge about Oracle database broadening quite widely. In fact, I've seen a number of people on our office hour sessions, the same people across all the different topics. Maybe they've got too much time on their hands. Maybe they want to get really, really great at Oracle database, but they'll sign up for just about everything, even things not in their wheelhouse or the things they're working on currently, because they'll pick up more and more tips, more and more viewpoints about how to leverage Oracle database. And I particularly encourage you to check out Ask Me Anything Oracle database. So two of our really big experts on database, Gerald Wenzel, who has a strong background in application development with Oracle database and all the latest technology. He was one of the main people behind getting Oracle database into Docker and working with containers. He's now working on the 18C XE release of the database. Maria Colgan, as I'm sure you all know. So they just get online every month and they just answer whatever questions you've got. And you can come again and watch later on whenever you need to. So AskTOM is way more than answering questions. You can certainly do that, and it will still, I'm sure, be the dominant way that people use AskTOM for years to come. But please take a look at office hours, get signed up, get subscribed, and learn so much more than you ever thought possible directly from the experts inside Building 400 at Oracle headquarters. Okay. Let's head back over. So now let's take a look at LiveSQL. LiveSQL is the brainchild of Mike Hitchell. Mike Hitchell runs the Application Development Tools Group inside the Oracle database team under Andy Mendelsohn. So he owns and is responsible for Oracle Application Express, SQL Developer, SQL CL, all the different drivers for working with Oracle database from Python and Node.js and so on and so forth. Lots and lots of tools, including Oracle REST Data Services, which is playing a pretty key role in everything we do at Oracle these days with the database. He also had this idea that you should be able to, from anywhere in the world, get online, get access to an Oracle database without having to install anything, without having any licensing issues, and play around with the database and learn SQL and learn PL SQL. So he created LiveSQL. Now, LiveSQL offers a number of really fantastic features. Number one, as I mentioned before, 24/7 access to the best relational database in the world. And it's currently on 18C. So you probably are not running 18C yet. It's available in the cloud. It's going to be rolling out for on-prem usage and the free XE release relatively soon, certainly by the end of the calendar year, and I'm expecting way before that. But even if you can't have access to 18C through those mechanisms, through those methods, you can always come to livesql.oracle.com and have access to it. So 24/7 access to the database. A script library. So, and I'll show you all this in a moment. You can build your own personal private script library in LiveSQL so that wherever you go online, you go to livesql.oracle.com, sign in, and there's all your stuff ready to access. It used to be that we consultants would carry around a disk and we'd have to plug in the disk and install our utilities wherever we went. Of course, nobody's going to let you stick a disk into their computers and just load up your scripts anymore. You probably have other ways through Dropbox or whatever else to store your scripts, but in any case, you can certainly use LiveSQL. But the other part of the script library is that you can make your scripts public for other people to use. I'll show you how to do this. I'll show you my scripts. I've got about 200 plus scripts on there now. So it's a way to share with the community things that you've learned over the years to help them gain from your knowledge and expertise. Finally, there's a number of tutorials on a variety of topics in Oracle database that build on individual scripts and really provide a really nice overall learning experience. Let's take a look. So when you first come to LiveSQL, there's no sign-in necessary. You can just obviously learn about it. I can also do a search for my favorite feature in PL SQL for all, and it finds a variety of scripts. As you'll see, probably most of them provided by me. These are all public scripts. So let's take a look at incremental commit processing with for all. And here's the script that I wrote, yep, and the different statements. We have titles and code and annotations explaining what's going on. So at this point, I'm logged in. Now that means, among other things, I can check out my scripts and my tutorials, the things that I'm building. But let's take a look at the library first. So let's go to the code library. And I'm going to again search for all. So here are all the different scripts, mostly again that I've provided related to for all. Let's click on this basic one, example of for all statements. And then I can run it. So I run my script. And it shows me the results. So I created the table, shows me about a delete single bind array. Again, comments explaining what's going on. This is a rather short one. And then you can actually play around with it. So I can say, go to my session, view the session. And I can actually edit these scripts now. I can say, let's go into this item. Not delete, sorry, edit. And I can play around. I can change the code and try different things. What happens if I don't do a rollback? What happens if I change it to count plus 1? Let's try that. Rerun. And it said I had 1 of 3 statements had errors. Let's take a look. Don't think I wanted to go to the worksheet. All right, sorry. That took me to the worksheet, which I'll come back to. Let's view the session. So notice now I added that count plus 1. Element in index 3 does not exist. So the main idea here is, of course, you can take my scripts and break them all you want, but you can go exploring. You can try different things. Again, you don't have to be installing the database somewhere else. It's all available online. You might even take one of my scripts, make changes to it, and save it and publish it as your own to show, here's, you can do this as well. You can enhance the work that I've done. So go exploring in the code library. For example, if you're on 12c, you want to learn about new 12c features, just type 12c, and here are all these different tutorials and scripts on 12c functionality. Lots and lots of stuff. So we've spent a lot of time, especially my team, but also other people at Oracle, including the doc team as well, adding lots of different scripts that help you leverage the database, again, more effectively. You can also, once you found a script that you like, let's say JSON enhancements in 18c, you can also download the script. And then you've got that code. So you've got access to all this code. You can use it any way you want, all for you to work with. And if you want to build your own script, go to My Scripts, click on Upload Scripts. Let's browse out there and find one of my demonstration files. We'll just take this 12.2 JSON array script, give it a name, just mine for now. Upload my script, and there it is. Click on it. Notice it automatically broke up the different statements into the individual elements of a LiveSQL script. I can now run this script. Let's clear things out from before. It shows me how it worked. And I can say, I like this, I don't like it. If I like it, I can say, let's save the script and replace it. Actually, we'll replace the current script. And now what it's done is also stored my results with my script, which is nice when you publish it, to publish the latest results. I can also edit if, let's say I want to publish it now. So I can edit attributes. And I can set it to unlisted if I just want to share the script with others. So for example, if you're going to submit a question on AskTOM, and we say, sure, we'll take your question, having read all this stuff first, but give us a LiveSQL link. That's where you would come here. You would construct your script, set it to unlisted. You'll get a link, and then you can put the link in here. SQL worksheet. So here's what the main idea, the main initial idea behind LiveSQL is just play. So I can say select star from employees, and it says, I don't know what you're talking about. So the way LiveSQL works is that when you connect, you get your own special session. It's generated dynamically. It's got some crazy long name to it. It's all unique hash GUID. And there's nothing in it, completely empty. Now we do have a number of schemas already created for you. So for example, we've got the HR schema there, and I can say run that, and there's my data. I can also say, you know what, I want to use that employees table. So I'm going to get that as my starting point. And then in my session, I've got this table. Now I can say select star from employees. I can update, delete, etc. But I've created the object. So it's a completely blank slate. You then go in and create your own objects. Usually you'll load up a script you've already created, or we'll start building. And off you go, playing around with SQL and PL SQL. In addition, there are tutorials. So let's go out to home. Let's search for, let's see, actually I just want to go into search for tutorials. Let's go to JSON. So we've got a number of different scripts here for JSON. Let's click down to just tutorials and check out SQL JSON features in database 12.2. So here's the tutorial in LiveSQL. We've got all these different modules. You can click down into any one of them, read through it. What's really cool about the tutorials in LiveSQL is that when you get to a certain point and you want to try this code out, simply click on Insert into Editor. It loads it up, and then you run it. Now, in this case, it's going to fail because I haven't done the previous steps. So in general, what you're going to do is start at the top, and you're going to read about technology, and you're going to say, oh, that looks interesting. Okay, let's insert this into the editor. Let's run that stuff, get our setup done, and you just read and learn, and then you try out the code. And of course, again, you can change that code all you want. So these tutorials give you a really nice way of blending in education, essentially documentation and examples, but making those examples live in LiveSQL. And there are lots of tutorials out there. So if I go back to home, code library, just tutorials. We've got all these different tutorials out there now, and we're actually using the tutorials in LiveSQL as some of the foundation pieces of the class that we're building out in the DevGym, which you're going to see really soon. Here's an introduction to analytic functions. And this is a part of the database for developers class in the DevGym. And I'll show you that in just a moment as well. So we're using all these different components to put together really nice educational experiences for you. So lots to learn from at the LiveSQL site. You can use it as your own private training ground. You can simply access the code library, and I certainly encourage you to go through all the stuff that's available here. There's so much information available, so many different scripts, pretty much any new feature. Pardon me. Any new feature in 18C or 12C, you'll find here. But not by using that keyword, sorry. Let's see. For example, one of the new features in, tutorials, my apologies. No tutorials on 18C yet. But if I search, now let's try it again. There. So if I search on 18C, one more time. That's my last break. Hopefully my voice will make it. So search on 18C, you get lots of 18C scripts, including some examples of this fantastic new polymorphic table function. My favorite features in PL SQL, qualified expressions for associative arrays. So now right inside the declaration section, you can actually initialize your associative arrays. In any case, the point is, go to LiveSQL and you find out about all these new features, and you not only read the doc, you can read the doc for them, but you can play around with the code. Great stuff. So do take advantage. Let's see, do I have any questions? I think I don't have any questions yet. Okay. So last, but definitely not least for me, the Oracle DevGym, quizzes, workouts, and classes. Now, hopefully some of you are familiar with this website in its previous incarnation, which was the PL SQL Challenge. So I started this idea of having online quizzes on Oracle database technology back in April 2010. And for about 4.5 years, I wrote a daily PL SQL quiz, a new quiz every day, 5 days a week. And we had up to about 1,200 people playing at one point, these daily quizzes. When I joined Oracle back in 2014, I couldn't keep doing the daily quiz thing. So we now have a variety of weekly quizzes, which are called tournament quizzes, in which you can compete for international ranking. But we also have lots of ways to enjoy the site without any ranking whatsoever. Don't worry about competing and how you'll appear to your coworkers. It's a great place to go to deepen your knowledge by exercising your skill set. So exercise expertise through exercise. As I mentioned before, I call it an active learning site because we go beyond simply reading stuff and watching stuff and actually ask you after you read or watch something to verify what you've learned by answering quizzes. The workouts usually combine videos and articles related quizzes, and we finally offer a set of classes which are kind of like mini MOOCs. A MOOC is a massive open online course. It's an online course, and it can be pretty massive depending on how many people sign up. But MOOCs are usually require 3-5+ hours a week of your dedicated time to work through them. They're pretty heavy pieces of coursework, and that's great. Lots of people benefit a lot from them. The classes on the DevGym are more of a light or mini MOOC, in which you can probably get away with spending no more than, say, an hour a week, and maybe even do the whole course, because they're on demand usually, in several hours in a single week or a single sitting. So they don't demand quite as much of your time, and they drill down into fairly specific topics or are good general introductions. Let's take a look. So here's the homepage of the DevGym. And again, you can search all of our quizzes, workouts, and classes for whatever topic you've got in mind. What you'll see right at the top of the page after you get started is your current stuff. So I'm enrolled in a couple different classes, and I'm doing some different workouts. Below that, you'll see the latest quizzes at the DevGym. So these are the weekly ranked tournament quizzes. You don't have to play ranked. You can see I'm unranked across all these different domains because I'm a site admin. It would be cheating for me to be ranked. But I can change that if I want to. I can switch to ranked, switch it back, as I should. So we currently offer quizzes across 5 different domains. Database design, and Chris Saxon of the AskTOM answer team and a member of my team is the quizmaster. I love logic. It's just a weekly test of your skills in deductive logic, and that's managed by Eli, my son, and the main Oracle DevGym Apex developer, and he's also a great logician, which works out really well for writing code. I run my PL SQL Challenge weekly quiz. Select from SQL is a fantastic weekly SQL quiz from Kim Berg-Hansen, who's a consultant in Europe, and he's been writing our quizzes for many, many years. They are incredibly engaging, often quite involved, and will definitely test your knowledge of SQL and take it to another level. And most recently, and I'm very excited about this, we've extended out of the database world to Java. So you can now take quizzes on Java each week as well, and they're provided by Rafael Del Nero, a Brazilian Java developer who's currently working in Ireland. So we've got lots of different ways that you can every week come and take these new quizzes. And again, you can decide if you want to be ranked or not. So for example, I'm going to go into Dynamite Database Design. And you basically read the code and the explanation. And then you have to decide which of these choices will give you the right answer. So it's all about learning how to improve your skill set, not only about the features of the database, but your ability to read code and know what it does. And I really like this part of it because so often as developers, what we do is write code and we run it to see what happened. How did that go? And we look at the results. But the real test of your code is first and foremost, you reading it line by line and saying to yourself, I know what this code does. It does exactly what I want it to do. So enhancing your ability to read and understand code is, I think, critically important to being a great developer. And you'll certainly see that in the PL SQL Challenge quizzes. This one I previously answered as a part of a demonstration I was doing earlier. But again, you'll see, here's the statement. I create this nested table type. If I run this code, do I see the correct results? This code, this code. So it's all about reading and understanding code, and I hope that you'll find it very interesting to take this on. If you do decide to be ranked, then you'll show up in the leaderboards. So if we look at our tournament rankings, you can pick your different quizzes. Let's go to Oracle PL SQL. And for the last week, here are the rankings of our players. You can drill into their profile, take a look at what they've been doing on the DevGym. So Tony, for example, has been a very dedicated exerciser at the DevGym, a member of our gym. He's taken over 1,400 PL SQL quizzes, written a few himself, and you can submit them. I'll show you that in a moment. Logic quizzes, etc. And he's also diving into Java. So you can play to compete, or you can skip it entirely. When you take your tournament quizzes, you can say, I do not want to be ranked. Let's take one that I haven't gone into yet. And you'll be taken to this launch page. And at this page, which you can bypass if you choose to via your settings, but on this page, you can say whether or not you want to be ranked, whether or not you want to see the page each time. You can review the instructions and assumptions. Assumptions are really important. For an Oracle database quiz, for example, what version am I running? What about the system output? Am I going to see it? Do I have to see set server output on? So take some time to read through the assumptions. And then you start the quiz. And the reason we give you this launch page is that if you do decide to take the quiz ranked, the amount of time it takes for you to answer is a part of your ranking. So most important is, did you get it right, or how right did you get it? Secondarily, how much time did you take to answer? So we like to make sure that you say when it's time to go and start the clock ticking. Of course, once you're used to this whole process, you can turn off this launch page and just go straight in. So that's the tournament quiz experience. Let's go back out to the home page. And let's go and look for error. Let's just search on error and see what we find. Now, what we find are a whole lot of quizzes. We see a class, so we can actually choose the type of activity. Here's a class that you can take that has to do with error management. No workouts yet. So you can do a search on what you're interested in. So I can say for all. Show me any activity. I think we just have quizzes so far. And then you can drill down into that quiz, or even a whole workout. Let's take a look at workouts. So I'll click on bulk collect. Now, a workout takes you a step up from an individual quiz. You can take the tournament quizzes, you can search for other quizzes in our library, but a workout joins together multiple quizzes, usually with a video or a piece of documentation or an article. And the idea is that if I decide to take the workout, by the way, this one is authored, or the main content is authored by Tim Hall, who's graciously allowed us to incorporate his work into our workouts. So now I'm starting the workout, and I can take a look at his article. I read through his article in bulk collect and for all. And I come back and notice now this is marked as completed, and I can modify the time if I want to. But the main thing is, after I read that stuff, I can then take my quizzes. Now notice this is a multi-quiz workout, so you can just move through the different quizzes. Again, I'm reading the code and deciding which of the choices are correct. With our tournament quizzes, we actually display images. You can't grab the code, but we do make it easy, since this is not a competitive environment. You're just learning to grab the code right here. You can actually grab it out, copy and paste it into your environment or into LiveSQL. We don't have the integration to LiveSQL on this page yet. And you can run the code and try it out. Of course, what you really should do is read the code and decide for yourself which of the answers are correct. So I can answer this one, go to my next one, and move through my workout. I don't have to finish it all at once. I can say, I'm done here. Let's go back and review how I'm doing. Come back later the next day to finish the workout, do it right now, whatever the case might be, right? So you've got quizzes, you've got workouts. Let's go to the workouts page. So on the workouts page, you'll see all the workouts you're currently set to in your bailiwick. We offer a set of featured workouts and also daily workouts. Now let's look at daily workouts for just a moment. So workouts in general, I had mentioned to you, are usually a video or an article followed by quizzes. The daily workout is send me an email each day with a new quiz to take. And you can just click on the domains you want. Let's say I'll add logic and Apex, sorry, and PL SQL and SQL. I can even say add dailies now. You don't have to. What you're saying right now is that each morning we'll send out, create the workout and send out a link to you. But I can also say add them now. And that will add them to my current list of workouts to take. So you can see I've added these right here. And I can now take each one of these. They only consist of a single quiz. Okay. Go back to workouts. I can pick from my featured workouts. I can look at all the workouts. I can also build my own do-it-yourself workout. So click on DIY workout. And I can choose the technology I'm interested in, let's say SQL. I would really like to get better at working with analytic views. And then I say how much time I want to spend on it, what my range of activity should be, or how difficult I want the quizzes to be, add to my workouts. Now in this case, we only had one quiz on analytic views, but you can take it. Let's go back and try something out with a little bit more depth to it. Let's say I'm in PL SQL and I want to get better at dynamic SQL. So I pick dynamic SQL. Let's take it up to an hour. And I only want intermediate to advanced, no beginner quizzes. I've covered the basics. Add to my workouts. So there's my new workout, dynamic SQL in 60 minutes. Here are the quizzes that we found for you that you should be able to finish in an hour. Maybe not, but that's okay, it doesn't matter. And then you just go through these one by one, take the quizzes. And believe me, when you're done doing one of these workouts on a specific topic area like dynamic SQL, you're gonna have all those features fresh in your mind. The next time it's time to write a dynamic SQL program, you're gonna just snap right along because you've kept current with the technology and you've got it fresh in your head and fresh in those fingertips. So that's one of the ways that you can do workouts. So the next time you're about to start a new application or even a new program, and you're going to be working with collections or nested tables, you haven't done anything with collections in a while, bring up a workout if there's not one already there for you under our workouts, create it yourself, spend some time getting fresh on the topic, and then dive into your coding, and you'll find yourself way more productive and probably end up with fewer bugs in your code. Okay, so that's workouts, tournament quizzes. Let's take a look at classes. So we offer a set of classes on the DevGym to cover a wide variety of areas, and we're going to be expanding greatly in the months to come. Our most popular class by far is Database for Developers, a foundation class consisting of 12 modules from Chris Saxon, over 11,000 registered students at this point. You can just click on one of these links, click on the name of the class, and you can see that it's an on-demand class. You can start it, stop it whenever you want. It's got 12 modules. You can drill down in to take a look. Now I've already joined this, so I can immediately dive in and watch my videos. And we use the videos directly or display them directly in the site. And yes, if you haven't seen Chris's videos on Database for Developers before, you definitely should. He's got a couple of small kids and they definitely inform his videos. And again, take the video and then answer your quizzes. And you can keep track of course progress on the main page. I haven't gotten too far, apologies. When you're all done, you can print out a certificate of completion. If you got 80% or higher on all of your quizzes across the board, the average grade is 80% or higher, you get a certificate of excellence. So let's go back to the class list. Database for Developers Foundations will be a great class that you should offer to students you're working with or people just coming into the relational database world to learn about the basic principles of relational databases. Database for Developers Next Level, which is actually just wrapping up. We just started it up about 10 weeks ago. Takes you to the next level. So in this case, Chris takes a look at the nulls and how to treat nulls, subqueries, some very basic order by analytic functions, so introduction to some analytics, union minus and intersect, and so on and so on. It doesn't cover every one of these topics in great detail. That's not the idea. The idea is to get you started on learning how to leverage this functionality. So here's a whole little module just on using merge. So take the foundations class first, then step up to the next level class, or just if you've got more experience with SQL, dive right at the next level. And if you really want to take it up to the next level, from there, check out Connor's Analytics SQL for Developers. So this is a new class that just started last week. It's got a shorter number of modules, but there's more in each of the modules. So Connor put together a 30 video series on analytic functions. And the idea behind that video series was to make it dead simple for you to get your head around how to work with analytic functions, which most people shy away from. Like me, quite honestly, I need to take this class as soon as possible. And so he offers some very simple presentations of the ideas behind analytic functions in his videos. And then again, of course, we go down to quizzes that reinforce the knowledge. So if you've ever been struggling with analytics and how to make sense of them and how to make sense of all the different clauses and all the different options, take his Analytics SQL for Developers class, work through those quizzes, and you will be at a much different place when you're done regarding your ability to incorporate analytic functions into your applications. So those are several really pretty big scope classes. I tend to do a more narrow focus. So I've got 9 good to knows for PL SQL error management, which covers 9 different areas of PL SQL errors. I just started up my latest Get Started with PL SQL table functions. So hopefully you're familiar with table functions, but if not, they're functions that act like tables in a select statement. You select from the collection returned by the function as if it were a table with rows and columns. Very cool stuff, lots of neat things you can do with it. And I take you through a number of modules that start with the basics, returning multiple columns, streaming table functions, and finally pipeline table functions. And again, the idea here is not to overwhelm you with all the details of all these different areas of table functions, but to get you started, to give you the basic understanding of the feature, the syntax, how to use them. So I think you'll get a lot of benefit out of that class. And we'll soon be starting, it shows up here, but it's not yet publicly available, for Python developers, how to use the CX Oracle driver to do CRUD operations, insert, update, delete, and select from Python. And hopefully you'll see a lot more classes rolling out in the next year. Now, this is a community site, as you may not have noticed, but let me point it out really clearly here. 2 of the quiz masters for our quizzes, Kim Berg-Hansen and Rafael Del Nero, are not members of Oracle Corporation. They're not a member of my team. So, and so you can become a quiz master. For example, if you said, I really want to see a weekly quiz on database administration, we've had that request. We could do it, it's just bandwidth. If you're a really good DBA and you'd like to see your name featured in the lights on the DevGym, you can start writing a weekly quiz on database administration and contact me if you want to do that. So we could set up a whole nother weekly quiz. But in addition, you might say, I've got some really cool things that I learned about PL SQL. I want to share them with the community. You want to submit a quiz. So just click on that little down arrow, submit quiz. And then you can go through our pretty simple UI to create a quiz. You select the topic. So for example, let's say I wanted to do something on Oracle PL SQL, collections. And you can do a search to find this as well, collections. And then you write your question, provide an explanation. You can easily put in up to 5 choices. They can be all code or they can be text with code. Anyway, I won't go through all the details of the quiz submission wizard, but it's not that hard to get started. We'll help you. And we have reviewers who will help you finish up your quiz to get it up to spec to make sure that there are no mistakes in it, because people don't like it when there are mistakes in quizzes. So that's one of the ways that you can engage as a community member on the DevGym. And we've had hundreds of quizzes submitted and played over the years from other developers. And the more you submit quizzes, the fewer quizzes I have to write. And that's fine with me. I've got a lot of other things to do, but I'm okay. I can handle 1 quiz a week, maybe even a couple. Okay, so I think that covers the vast amount of the interesting stuff at the DevGym. I'd show you our new trophies and everything that's going on there, but I don't have very many trophies. But let's just show you the trophies that are available. So there are lots of different ways that you can get points on the DevGym. Every time you take a quiz, you get points. Every time you look at a quiz, review a quiz, put in a comment on a quiz, you get points. And you can work towards a whole wide variety of different badges that will then be featured on your profile or for your own satisfaction on your trophy wall. As I said, I don't have much to show because I'm a site admin, so I don't get to collect trophies on the DevGym, but you will, and you can. And there are many people who have actually hundreds of trophies over the years. In fact, let's go to points. So on the leaderboards, you can see championship rankings, tournament rankings, people who have won prizes, for example, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd in the quarter. You can also look at points. So you can get a sense of the kind of involvement that people have made in the site over the years and what they've gotten out of it. Stelios is our current #1 top points maker. He's taken, I think, 3,000 or 4,000 quizzes. He's taken the same quizzes over and over again to deepen his expertise, get his points up. So many people have spent a lot of time on the site learning a lot. And they're not beginners. These are experts. These are people who know their stuff really well, but they still benefit greatly from the rigor of learning how to read their code and test in their minds logically whether or not their code will work, and then leading to results in improvement around code quality and reduced bugs. All right. So that covers my basics on these websites. So let me finish up with a general comment. You know, some people, lots of people love Stack Overflow, love AskTOM. Some people criticize the dynamic that's developed around Stack Overflow as basically writing code by Google. So you go out into your search engine, you search for some topic, you get a link to Stack Overflow or to AskTOM, both very common. You click in, you scan really quickly, that looks like the code I need, you grab it, you copy paste, you try to run it, sort of get it to work, maybe it works right away. The problem is that you're not learning, you're just copy pasting. Now I love copy pasting, I love not having to relearn syntax for things and so on, but even better is to deepen your knowledge about the technologies you're working with. So I'd like to think that both on AskTOM, in the way that we ask a lot of you when you're asking a question, and the way we answer it, with AskTOM office hours, with LiveSQL, with the DevGym, that we can help you move beyond simply copy pasting code to get to an answer, but help you deepen your knowledge about these technologies and be an expert on your own, even without Google. Even if the internet went down while you were writing your code, you'd still be able to turn out some really great code. And the other point I want to make in summation is that obviously the Oracle database development team at Oracle headquarters is very busy building the code for Oracle database and enhancing it and coming up with new versions and getting it to work really well in the cloud and all of that great stuff. But we also go beyond simply building out great tools and great technologies. We invest a lot of effort into building out resources to help you deepen that expertise and apply what we've built into our tools, built into these products. So the DevGym for our quizzes and workouts and classes, LiveSQL for you to write your own code and try it out and to learn from our tutorials and scripts, and of course AskTOM as the #1 or #2 go-to place for Q&A on Oracle database topics and office hours for that direct pipeline of contact with our internal development experts. So I hope you'll take advantage of all that we built for you. On every one of those sites, if you have any questions or comments, there's a feedback mechanism, so you can let us know if you found a problem, if you've got ideas for improving these websites. We'd love to hear it. We're constantly investing time and effort into making them better and better for you. So thanks very much for joining me. Hopefully you're excited and inspired to take advantage of these 3 different websites. Thank you very much.